also, and the fetus is growing and living. That's why the fetus lives under extreme hypoxic conditions, and yet fetus is happy and extracts the oxygen for its use and keeps on growing. Okay, that is the beauty of the system. So even at low partial pressures, the fetus is showing its well-being. There are multiple adjustments made by the fetus. Okay, so we are not discussing the fetal physiology. Someday, inshallah, we'll talk about the fetal physiology also. Right now, the lecture was about maternal issues also. Okay? Yeah, any question? Yes, Abdul Rahim?
Pregnant women sometimes have a special desire for something.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, yeah. Pregnant women have a special desire. A very good question. This is a psychological change which is coming. Well, because in the pregnancy, many chemicals are released from the placenta. The cells are being degraded and chemicals are released. Probably some of the chemicals or some mysterious factors affect the limbic system of the mother, limbic system. Okay? So it changes the emotions and psychology, and she has a craving or likes for few things more than, she likes to have some very unusual things like eating clay. Okay? This is called pica, or unusual things which looks like very weird, that why is she eating this kind of a thing. Okay, so this change in the dietary habit or a desire is called the pica, P-I-C-A, pica, sometimes known as geophagy, yani eating the clay. Okay, and all over the world, especially in many parts of India, Pakistan and others, special clay comes which is baked, actually baked in the ovens. Okay, and these cakes of the clay are there, and they are used in the pregnancy by the women. They used to eat the clay, okay, because they like it for no reason, and it happens really. Okay, so this kind of habit develops. Shabab, listen to him, please. Yeah.
It can leave a lot on the baby. The mother didn't get what she desired.
This is something we believe in our traditions, in our families. It's coming in our society and culture. It doesn't have any biological evidence that if she had something that will affect the baby also in a way. Sometimes it's a coincidence and you're always correlating it, but there is no documentary evidence for that. It is very strong belief. What you are saying happens many parts of the world. In Saudi Arabia, in Pakistan, India, in Asia, many countries, we connect these things that if something is going wrong with the mother, it will be there in the baby also like this. Okay, there is no genetic transmission like this. Okay. Yes, dear Mohtaz, please, let's have a question. We are just we have finished actually. Yeah. Calculation. Okay, now that's a good question. Thank you. Actually, we did not discuss that. Last part, please. Pregnancy calculation. Calculation of the timeline of pregnancy. From, what do you think, first of all? What is your idea? It's open? Okay, it's open. Okay, let it open. Okay, yeah. Yeah. Pregnancy calculation time. How do you start? Yes, Salman is saying from the last menstrual bleeding. Excellent. Finishing or beginning? Finishing. Okay. First day of the last menstrual cycle, or is it the first day of the last menstrual cycle that you are taking, or you are taking the end of the menstruation and then you are starting? Beginning, badaya of the cycle? No? Why? Okay. Let's discuss it. Why are you taking the end of the menstruation? How will it help you? What is the reason? Why have you chosen end of the menstruation? Any reason? Hussam, new cycle begins. How does the new cycle begin? First day of the last menstrual bleeding? The cycle begins. The first day of the bleeding is the first day of the cycle, yes or no? So, are you taking the first day, Hussam? The first day of the bleeding, no? Hussam, were you there in the lecture when we discussed that? It proves that you were not in the lecture, all right? You were absent. All right. Did we discuss that our cycle in females begins from the first day of the bleeding, okay? And we discussed that we have a wrong concept actually. We think that as the bleeding stops, now it is the beginning of the new cycle. La. Beginning of the cycle is the beginning of the bleeding. So if you consider this one, will you take the first day of the last menstrual cycle or the end of the menstruation? What do you think? The duration of the pregnancies is 280 days or 40 weeks from the... Now how do you know? Obviously, how do you know about the cycle actually? How is it cycle starting? What time it's starting? It's the bleeding, right? Okay, so you will start from the beginning of the cycle. If you are starting from the beginning of the cycle, you will say the first day of the last menstrual bleeding. Okay, you will mark that day, and from that day, okay, to 40 weeks or 280 days here, okay, and this is the total timeline of the pregnancy. You might get confused that actually the fertilization does not happen on the first day of the menstrual cycle. After how many days usually the fertilization or ovulation happens? 14 days. So take the 14 days. Usually the fertilization will happen plus minus 14 days, isn't it? So how much is the difference?
2 weeks.
2 weeks or the 14 days. It means if you are calculating from the first day of the cycle to the delivery, the total time is 280 days. This is the period of gestation, okay? And the age of the fetus will be 40 weeks actually. This is called the gestational age of the fetus. But is it the real age of the fetus? No. The real age will be less or more? How much less? 2 weeks. If the total duration of the pregnancy is 40 weeks, the actual age of the fetus is 38 weeks. If the duration of the pregnancy happened and the delivery happened at 38th week, for example, 38th week, what is the actual age of that fetus? 36, yani minus 2. Did you get that? So this is the gestational age, okay? Actual age is calculated from the time of fertilization to the end of the pregnancy. Some of the gynecologists and obstetricians and scientists, they actually mark the pregnancy. They believe that the true time of pregnancy starts from implantation, and from implantation they start and they calculate, okay? But usually in gynae and ops, when you calculate, we start from the first day of the last menstrual cycle, and that is your total time of gestation, 40 weeks. But you understand that 40 weeks means the size of the baby or the age of the baby actually is 2 weeks less than the total time of the pregnancy. Did you get that? Okay. This total age of 40 weeks is called the gestational age of the baby. Okay. And if you are taking 38 weeks, okay, this is the fetal age, it is called the fertilization age. So if I say what is the gestational age of the baby, you are calculating the total. If I say what is the fertilization age of the baby, then you are minus 2 weeks or less 2 weeks. This is the way how you calculate the duration of the pregnancy. Is that clear? Okay. Thank you very much. Any further question for you?